following is a live sports presentation of Glycod. GLICOD.com.
Glycod's coverage of the 2022 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School starts now.
Hi, Chris LaBar along with Gary Forrest. Welcome to Grant County High School. Gary, it should be a great matchup tonight. 8th Region Championship game, Anderson County and Owen.
Well, two teams that people at the beginning of the season said chances would be great they would meet, and that's what they've got.
Third time this meeting will have occurred this season with Anderson County, certainly the favorite in this game, on the verge of another 30-win season, their second in 3 seasons.
Very much so, and they're loaded to bear again this year, and by the looks of things, they're hitting their peak right here at the most important time of the year.
Boy, they sure are. They played so well these last 2 nights, demolishing a good South Oldham team last night, 66-41, and very difficult to nitpick these 2 performances.
It really is. You know, we've seen them here 5 or 6 times this year, and since about Christmas, you've seen steady growth. And it wasn't that it was a bad product to start with. They've just refined it, polished, and gotten better.
Owen County, certainly they've had a marvelous season in their own right. All A-state champions, 25 wins, as a matter of fact, 25-9. An opportunity to get to the state tournament for the first time in school history.
Small school, and yet what a girls basketball tradition they have. You know, they won the All-A tournament this year, and sometimes as an outsider you look and you say, well, you know, that was in January. Have they accomplished everything? Is everything downhill from there? But give them credit. They've continued to play hard and win games, and they've got themselves in a position that many small schools never get to, and that's a regional finals.
Yeah, first time in 20 years. We spoke about that last night, that final back in 02, losing to Shelby County all those years ago, their first time back to this level. And Lexi Moore, I mean, my heavens, the school's top all-time scorer, just does it in so many different ways.
She's that jack of all trades, you know, that Swiss Army knife, if you will. If you need her to bring it up, she will. If you need a big rebound, she'll get it. She'll make the right pass. Fun to watch.
Ferguson and Logan also double-figure contributors as well. So this Owen bunch, as many of you know, far, far from a one-person show. Just getting started tonight live from Grant County High School. Lots of basketball ongoing. The 6th region tipping off at 7 on Glycod. The 7th region has just concluded. Sacred Heart moving on as they defeat Manual. Up next, we will talk about both of these outstanding head coaches. Coach Wesselman for the Rebels, Coach Birdwhistle for Anderson County. Be right back on Glycod.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance is the #1 property and casualty insurance provider in Kentucky. With local agents, our members enjoy an unmatched level of dedication and service. KFB's rates are affordable and our local claims service is quick and efficient. Call or come in today and let us show you the Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance difference. In Lawrenceburg, contact Agency Manager David Taylor or Agent Ashley Nesbitt at 1056 Bypass South. Phone 502-839-4186. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Anderson Apothecary, the cure for the common drugstore. Anderson Apothecary, just across the street from the high school on Highway 127.
Robert Lane is not a seasoned politician. He grew up in Oldham County and has been in the trenches alongside first responders for over 20 years. As sheriff, he will provide fresh, community-oriented policing perspectives while maintaining a duty to serve citizens fairly and impartially. Vote for a candidate with a servant's heart. Vote Robert Lane for Oldham County Sheriff, committed to community.
I'm Robert Lane, and I approve this message.
Paid for and approved by Robert Lane for Oldham County Sheriff.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
All right, Gary, let's talk about these two outstanding head coaches. And I think they have some commonalities. Amy Wesselman, we'll start with her, succeeding a great coach, preceding at Owen. And I think to some degree, Clay Birdwhistle, the same sort of thing with Anderson.
It's hard to walk in the shoes of those in front of you if they were successful. And both of them are doing that and doing it at a very high level.
So Wesselman, both these coaches have won 8th Region Coach of the Year. There's two different polls, the KABC poll and then the Courier Journal. So both recognized as the top coach in the region. Both went there with their schools for a lengthy amount of time. And let's talk about Birdwhistle for a bit. And just a tremendous coach. He's 6-time 8th Region Coach of the Year. And his addition of Mark Evans to the staff, what has that done?
Well, I think it's helped develop their kids in a different direction. Coach Birdwhistle, more of an offensive mind, and, you know, they were a half-court oriented team, and he just felt like he needed to have some more balance and growth in his team to get it where they thought, you know, a lot of teams just strive to get to the state tournament. The last couple of years, they really felt like they could not only get the state tournament, they could make a big dent. And, you know, as successful as they've been, they hadn't gotten that big apple, if you would. And when Coach Evans retired, he told him, he said, if you ever, want to get back in coaching, I'd love to have you work with me. And a lot of coaches would be intimidated to have somebody like Mark Evans, who'd won a couple of state championships at Mercy, come on the staff as an assistant. And he got him to commit around Christmas time, and we've seen their defenses in particularly blossom. So hats off to Coach Birdwhistle, not afraid to make some changes in his team to make them better.
And both of these programs having so much success this year. They have been 1-2 all year in terms of the Sagarin ratings, or the RPI, if you will, in the 8th Region with Anderson. A clear cut above, at least statistically. And the Bearcats coach looking to advance to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd straight year. And looking back through all these records, the last time a team did it from the girls in the 8th Region for a three-peat back 88-90. Now, who might that have been, Gary?
Gee, I don't know. It might have been an Oldham school. Oh, wait a minute. There was only one at that time.
Correct. 88-90. So all these years have gone by, and the Bearcats with a shot to get back to the Sweet 16 for the 3rd straight year. We'll talk more about the Anderson County Bearcats. Amia Jenkins having a fantastic tournament. She is unquestionably one of the top players of the year. We'll talk more about her progress this week. Be right back on Glycod.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Watterson Trail in Louisville.
Are you looking for a realtor to help you buy or sell your property? Then look no further than John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher. John has helped hundreds achieve their goals through buying and selling real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading to a larger home, or downsizing as an empty nester, John will work with you to help you get where you want to go. For a realtor that has supported the community for over 20 years and who has creative ideas, consistent communication, and dependable results, call John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher at 502-598-8378.
LaGrange Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
I started smoking probably around 11 or 12 years old, and then within a couple of years, of course, it's just part of your life. I quit in 2012 on May 2nd, about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, in the parking lot of the hospital I was about to get admitted to because my left lung had collapsed. I was in the hospital for over 2 months. And then I was home with a tube coming out of my chest for about 6 weeks after that. And that's when I was diagnosed with stage 4. And eventually I will probably die from COPD. I had worked in the construction industry. I love to build things. In our old home, it was a fun place. And I built it all with my own hands, the walls, the ceiling, the floors. And that got taken away. We owned a boat, and I had to give it up. I couldn't physically handle it anymore. So we thought, well, let's maybe try to travel a little bit. So we bought a camper, and I had to give that up because I just couldn't, it's physically demanding. So your world just keeps shrinking. When you lay in bed at night, you're by yourself, that's when it weighs on you.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycon.
Back live tonight at Grant County High School, some 7 minutes ahead of tip. 8th Region Girls title game, Anderson and Owen. The winner will take on Sacred Heart Thursday at 8:30, first round of the Sweet 16. Talk about keys to this matchup presented by Robert Lane for Sheriff and for Owen. How in the world do they combat this pressure?
Well, they've got to handle it, and a lot of times what you've got to do is you've got to space the floor, you have to keep your head up, and you have to have an idea what you're going to do with the ball. I know that sounds simplistic, but it doesn't always turn out that way. So good floor balance, you keep your head up, and quite frankly, one of the things that Anderson thrives on is not only turning you over, but scoring out of the possession. Easiest way to score is when you steal the ball from the other team, top of the key to half court, you're halfway to your basket.
What about the Rebels? I would have to think that the pace needs to be slow.
If they get out of the 40s, they're in trouble. I'm just saying it the way it is, and I think Coach Wesselman understands that too. So once again, that usually means strong guard play, or you find one mismatch that you can use as your pressure release. Now they have that, with Moore. Moore is that she's a guard forward center, and if Anderson decides to guard her with someone larger, she may be their pressure release. She may be the one to initiate their offense. Their guards are small. And in this case, I think that really works to Anderson's advantage because they're going to trap them. And with that size, if they don't make foolish fouls, that's going to put Owen in trouble right off the bat.
Jenkins and Johnson as well. Marvelous weeks, but Jenkins at the top of that defense.
Well, she's on top of her game right now. When I saw her at Christmas time, I knew she'd committed to Kentucky, and I was, saying to myself after I'd seen her a couple of games, is she good enough to go into Kentucky and play as a freshman, or is she going to be a project? Because they need people to play right now. And after watching her the last 4 games, and particularly in this regional tournament, she's a different player.
Lainey Johnson has been so good, too. 17 points versus Simon Kenton on Tuesday. And all that length that she has down on the block.
Well, very much so. Like I said, they're tall. they will present a multitude of problems. And, you know, if you're Owen and you look at Anderson, you say, okay, who do I attack or where do I attack? And I don't know if they have an answer for that. You know, you have to take what you have and put it in the best possible position of winning against them. And I think they have a very tall task ahead of them.
Well, and to do it and to create a game plan in less than 24 hours as well, that's another factor.
Very much so. Now, if there's an advantage in the hidden linings, Owen has had a dress rehearsal for this when they played in the All-A tournament because they had to play games, 3 games in 4 days. So they understand how to change it, but I don't think they played anybody the quality of Anderson County.
2 great seasons, Owen 25-9, the Bearcats 29-4. Lineups a tip when we come back on Glycod.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Welcome to WDRB Home Design here at Watts Home Center. We're talking paint colors today. Tommy, what are the hottest colors this season?
The hottest colors are gray. Grays are trending. You also have taupes, off-white. Benjamin Moore has over 4,000 colors, so we can find something that you like.
So if I wanted to color match my shirt, you could do it?
I can do it. We take our little color spectrometer here. It will take a picture of your shirt, tells us what color it is. We have true color lighting, so it helps us get the true color to match your color.
Do you have any tips for us to ensure a successful paint job?
The best tip I can give you is use the proper tools. You want to use a good paintbrush, you want to use a good roller. People always grab a roller frame, they just want to roll a wall. Grab a pole, whether it be an expensive good one, inexpensive wooden one. It makes the job go so much easier when you're rolling that wall out.
The team at Watts Home Center can answer all your painting questions, so come on out to their location here in LaGrange. I'm Lindsay Cox for WDRB Home Design.
A plan for the future is a plan for peace of mind. At Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home. Proud supporters of the Lady Bearcats and locally owned by 1985 AC graduate Brian Ritchie, they have been serving Lawrenceburg since 1991. Visit ritchieandpeach.com or phone 502-839-5151. Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home, 701 North Main Street. Helping you create the tribute of a lifetime.
From Glycod, it's the 2022 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament. Tonight's game is brought to you by Anderson's Sales and Service, outdoor equipment specialists who make your life easier. By Century Bank in Lawrenceburg, our community, your bank. By Metro Windows, installers of high-quality windows. By Thompson Heating and Cooling, where your comfort comes first. By LaGrange Service Center, quality car care since 1964. By Watts Home Center in LaGrange, design that feels like home. By State Farm Insurance Agent Leslie Gilley, Robert Lane for Oldham County Sheriff, Roy's Body and Glass Shop, John Reynolds Realtor, and by Lawson Financial. Now to courtside at Grant County High School for all the action of the 2022 8th Region Basketball Tournament. From Glycod.
LaGrange Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
Looking for sound, prudent financial advice? Did you know that one of the brightest and best financial advisors is in your own backyard? Robin Lawson of Financial Solutions Incorporated has a mission to understand your long-term goals, and to create a specific strategy just for you. Robin understands the challenges that face most of us today and offers fresh, out-of-the-box thinking that could put you on the road to financial freedom. Contact Robin Lawson today at 502-225-9900. That's 502-225-9900, or visit lawsonfinancial.net.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Time now for the starting lineups as we welcome you back to Grant County High School. First for Owen, a marvelous season for the Rebels, 25-9, 3 all 8th Region performers. Moore, Ferguson, and Logan followed by Goodrich and Lewis. And for the Bearcats, usual suspects, 4 all 8th Region performers. Jenkins, 22 a night. And Jenna Satterley also playing well with 11 last night, Gary.
Just really, really fun to watch.
Jenkins, Satterley, Serafini, Johnson, and Chesser, with the Serafini season high 34 versus North Oldham. The officials tonight, trio as assigned out of the 6th and 7th, Christy Boyle and Ron Price, and Andrew Mormon. The Paige Serafini being recognized for an achievement. Great to have her recognized out at half court in advance of this game. Great contingent from both fan bases, this unquestionably, although only 2 schools playing tonight, more fans we've had any other night this week.
Yeah, very much so. Well, once again, fortunate Owen County is, right next door, but the Anderson people, they've had a little John up here tonight.
Yeah, a lot of folks from Lawrenceburg to our far right. So am I going to have a little drama here in that title game. We're actually going to announce all the players, Coach.
Yes, traditionally in the regional final, they'll always introduce all of the players.
Looking at these benches, we commented on it last night. Owen only plays about 6. So these young ladies that likely won't play tonight getting recognized anyway.
Well, they got their minutes in last night.
Yes, they did. Both teams' reserves played amply last night as both Owen and Anderson won quite handily. So the winner gets Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart, single-digit win over Mercy. And the Valkyries, the defending state champs, will await the winner of this game coming up Thursday at 8:30. So, Gary, the Rebels certainly have played Anderson twice. How do they get back in this series? Is Anderson having a lot of success?
Very much so. It's got to slow it down if you're Owen tonight.
Yeah, the pace certainly significant. And even though Owen got by Spencer last night, the Rebels appeared much more comfortable in a slow pace. That's to their liking.
Well, they just don't have the depth bench to support what they would have to do.
Thanks so much for watching tonight on Glycod.com. 3 games, 3 title games we've had. The 7th, this one the 8th, and then the 6th region, Bullitt East and Mercy. Just getting underway. You can check on that as well. Our friends Todd Carter, Jeff Cooper live from Louisville. Jenna Satterley being announced. Had a couple of big timely shots last night in that win over South Oldham.
You really got things started for them early.
Been a very long week. The lights out here. It's tempting to take a little siesta just before we tip off.
Well, I'm always wondering, will they come back on?
Yeah, that's part of it. That's like inbounding the ball in after a timeout. We talked about this last night. To your knowledge, has a team ever won the region and then the All-A title in the same year?
Not that I'm aware of at the current time in the 8th. Now, I'm sure we've had it in some others. Carlisle County might have been one that occurred back in the late 80s when they went all the way to the state finals and lost to Lexington Henry Clay. It truly was a David versus Goliath. Triple overtime, 36-33 final.
So the lights re-illuminated. Here we go.
That's a good thing.
Anderson, 5-time 8th region title since 2010. And again, Owen County never been to the Sweet 16. But what a great season they've had. So Jenkins will jump against Ferguson.
Interesting to watch how much Lexi Moore can get done early.
And the tap controlled by Anderson. Jenkins operating on Goodrich. Satterley stops, starts. 2 points.
Just like last night, Satterley gets them on the board first. 2-2-1 press.
Nice snag there by Moore, and Moore tight roping the half-court line.
Yeah, it's a little dangerous.
As the Bearcats in a 2-3 with Satterley and Jenkins at the face.
Right now, straight 2-3, but you can bet they'll start trapping and gapping in just a minute or so.
Lewis near sideline and a shuffle.
Turnover number 1.
What's the key number for Owen with turnovers tonight?
They have to keep it under double figures.
That'll be a salient stat as this evening continues.
It's a monumental task ahead of them.
And Satterley.
Owen starts out man-to-man.
Here is Chesser.
Really undersized against this big Anderson bunch.
Ferguson will have to shadow Chesser on that block. Jenkins inside the arc. Nice find. Chesser wouldn't go in, and Chesser going to try and clean it up. The rebound corralled by Moore and an Anderson foul.
Well, Chesser in her frustration misses 2 inside. Early game plan, attack them inside. And in her exuberance.
So Laney Johnson called for the personal.
Anderson 2-2-1. Look for them to trap them and gap them.
See what Moore can do for the Rebels. She'll slide it across the line to Lewis. Back to Moore. Outlet, Logan. The sophomore advances to the basket a little bit long. Pinballed around, and it's going to leak out up top to Lewis. And now Ferguson will recycle. Anderson by 2. We've played nearly 2 minutes. That's Moore going to work on Chesser. Backside rebound corralled by Logan. So 2 offensive rebounds for the Rebs. A Moore triple. #23rd 3 of the year for Lexi Moore. Yeah, Serafini, right wing. Funnels it to Jenkins. Jenkins, little floater, got the roll.
2-2-1 so far. 2 times. Owen's been able to handle the pressure.
Deflected out. That's touched last by Laney Johnson.
There are the deflections we talked about last night because of their rangy size. Anderson, when not stealing a pass, able to get pieces and disrupt. Changing their set now a little bit, trying to point their guards. They've just backed it 2-2-1 up. They'll trap again.
Goodrich Bounces to Lewis, and now Lewis will mosey up top. Reverse and a three, and that's going to be steered short, and the rebound out off of Anderson as that shot short from Lewis. So the Rebels with a dead ball rebound, and they'll inbound to side court. And Jenkins going to shade Goodrich to the right. And Ferguson nearly turned it over.
I thought
Moore.
Ferguson might have shuffled the pivot foot out front.
There's Moore. Back out, Goodrich. So the Rebels deliberate here on this trip. Entry, and that shot going to be short from Logan. And the rebound vacuumed in by Satterley of Anderson. Outlet pass, Laney Johnson. As the Bearcats lead by an early point. Johnson around the horn. And Satterley. Woven to Jenkins. Satterley pops open for a three. How about that? Satterley with 5.
Well, every time they score, it gives them the opportunity to set their press. So far, Owen's done a good job of handling the pressure.
Goodrich bumped, and a foul on Serafini.
Serafini's slow with her feet. She knew it. As soon as she put her hands on the defender, it was going to be a foul.
Second team Lady Cat personal.
You know, right now, Owen's done a great job of slowing things down.
Lewis, top of the key. The Rebels on the board with a Lexi Moore 3, and that ball hooked inside and sealed up by Johnson as Johnson all the way to the basket, and a hard foul on Lexi Moore of Owen.
Well, there's your case. Turnover, transition, quick shot, layup, foul. That's what Anderson relishes. Being at the line, it gives them an opportunity. Shoot, make the free throw, set your press again.
As Laney Johnson, 44% foul shooter on the year, will sink one. So many different Bearcat players can beat you. And Johnson gives the Lady Cats an early 6-point lead. Nearly 5 minutes gone by. And Chesser tangled up with Ferguson, and they're going to whistle, I think, just a deflection, or was that a Chesser foul? Andrew Mormon keeping everyone in suspense.
It really is. Okay.
So Chesser called for the foul.
Chesser just a little late. Back on her heels. If you're going to pressure, everyone on the team has to buy in and be ready. If one person doesn't do the job, the pressure breaks down.
Now Moore will bounce it up top to Lewis. And Lewis going to slide by Jenkins, lofts in the lane and gets the roll.
I don't see Anderson playing with the same zip as last night, Chris.
9-5, Bearcats with the lead. Hard to match the level, though, of the last two nights.
Well, very much so.
Satterley into forecourt. Jenkins triggers a three. Up and in. That's Laney Johnson with a putback. Johnson now with 4. She and Satterley with 7 of the 9. And there's 2 more for Laney Johnson. And an Owen timeout.
Excellent timeout by Emmy Wessel. And, you know, the pace that they had within the last 30 seconds, all it takes is a turnover or two.
Be right back on Glycod.
Looking for a realtor to help you buy or sell your property? Then look no further than John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher. John has helped hundreds achieve their goals through buying and selling real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading to a larger home, or downsizing as an empty nester, John will work with you to help you get where you want to go. For a realtor that has supported the community for over 20 years and who has creative ideas, consistent communication, and dependable results, call John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher at 502-598-8378.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Anderson changes up their press. They go to a pointed press now, 1-2-1.
With Jenkins at the face after the Owen timeout. Long pass, length of the floor, and that's an and one as Logan gets the basket.
Wonk.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, wipe off what would be considered an easy layup. You know, good change of pace by Anderson.
And sadly been a factor with 5 points in this opening quarter. Now Wogan around the clock to Jenkins, and Jenkins with a shuffle. You mentioned not having the same zip. Difficult to get that back.
It is, it really is. You know, but I like the fact that they just change things up a little bit, and what you do is you pressure them in different areas.
Now Lewis probing the lane. She'll tap the break, find Moore, triggers a three, and Moore again connects.
Well, once again, Moore is their savior. If you're in trouble, look for Moore.
$1:30 in the quarter. Cats by 5 as Satterley will get Lewis to creep out on her. Now Woven around the clock to Jenkins. Deflected to Chesser. Sandwich dribble and double dribble, emphatically called.
Interesting. It's the out official who makes the call. The in official, 2 feet from the player, doesn't make the call.
So Owen trying to slice it down under 5. Latter stages of this first quarter. Trickle pass, and now Lewis will handle. Owen defeated North Oldham and Spencer to get here. Bearcats beat Simon Kitten and South Oldham. There's a 3 off the mark from Lewis, and Chesser secures the rebound. Johnson running the floor as we tiptoe under 50. Satterley stops and starts. On hand behind to Serafini. Johnson lofts it off the glass. Johnson with 8. And a steal on the open floor by Amia for 2 more.
Got these mini runs in, Chris.
Live ball turnovers and a foul in backcourt. Will be whistled on. Jenkins 4th on Anderson. And Anderson +9.
Not a good place to kill your dribble.
Lewis up top. Moore tries another 3. And Moore 3 of 3 from distance.
They've got to recognize where Moore is. They've moved her outside.
Jenkins short on the answer attempt, and that'll take us to the end of the quarter. Anderson by 6. Back for the second quarter on Glycod.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
Looking for sound, prudent financial advice? Did you know that one of the brightest and best financial advisors is in your own backyard? Robin Lawson of Financial Solutions Incorporated has a mission to understand your long-term goals and to create a specific strategy just for you. Robin understands the challenges that face most of us today and offers fresh, out-of-the-box thinking that can put you on the road to financial freedom. Contact Robin Lawson today at 502-225-9900. That's 502-225-9900 or visit lawsonfinancial.net.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycon.
Chris Labar, Gary Forrest, and Cece on camera tonight as we welcome you back to Dry Ridge. 6-point Lady Cat lead. And Owen trying to cut into that 2-possession difference as Lewis backs out in the lane. And that shot off the mark now from Haley Logan. Logan gets it back. And a Bearcat foul.
Interesting. Anderson fans don't agree with it.
Whistled on Johnson, and that's going to send Kinley Lucas in, 5'9" senior, averaging 2 a night. Lewis trying to organize.
Owen probing, not in a big hurry. You know, this is the tempo they want.
And Lucas, rather late on the closeout, called for the foul. Six of them now for the Lady Cats. And the first on Lucas as Owen will trigger is Laura Lewis finding Goodrich. Off of Moore, gobbled up by Serafini.
Turnover number 6.
Running the floor, Chesser. Nice catch, powers it short.
Chesser,
may have been
for
changed.
5. Yeah, Chesser looking at her hands and at the official, but, you know, she just short-armed it.
That's Gracie Ferguson racing back to challenge that shot. And Owen hanging around down 6. Neither team has scored yet in this quarter. That is Lewis feeding the post. Ferguson off the window, everything but the basket. And racing at the foul line, that is Jenkins trying to salvage the ball. And possession the other way to the Lady Cats.
You know, it's 2 nights in a row, Chris. We've watched Chesser get the pass and yet not finish through, almost as if she's expecting contact. They're going to let them play. You know, these officials from Louisville, they let it play. And she needs to realize that and just go on and play.
Jenkins with an early 4, trying to attack. As Lewis will slide on her. Weaving in the lane is Jenkins for 2.
They don't have an answer for that, Chris.
Well, very few teams do.
2-2-1 once again, so they're back trying to set the traps at the corners.
Lewis will apply the break and back on top to Goodrich.
Now they back it out and go back to the tempo that they want. So it's a chess match of who can get the tempo and sustain.
Logan veering to the basket through contact.
Yep. Logan frustration after the missed. Logan's just going to drop her head and drive it. Teammates telling her to calm down a little bit. And you can imagine it's Lexi Moore, the one that's telling the youngster, calm down.
First foul on the sophomore. Haley Logan, all 8th region. 10-point and evening scores. So Anderson +8. Jess Satterley 5 early points. Sachets into forecourt. Up top, Jenkins will square and shuffle.
Good call. Never really established and kind of walked into the dribble. Turnover number 3 for Anderson County. Anderson will take their 2-2-1, and they'll just back it up. Now they'll retrap again.
Chesser scoops up the turnover. Running the floor is Lucas, but Jenkins just threw it right behind her.
Well, a flurry of turnovers from both sides here this last 30 seconds or so.
Clay Birdwhistle, far sideline, conversing with referee Andrew Mormon. As Owen will set the table in forecourt. It's Logan. Goodrich floats to Ferguson as the Rebels veer in the lane, and it's going to spill out of bounds off of Logan.
Yep, Logan, all left-hand dominant, and they immediately clammed down. She dribbled off her legs, so in a span of 35 seconds, we've had about 4 turnovers.
Well, we've had 2 points, and now going on 3 minutes in this quarter. Anderson +8. Chesser will go to work down low and put it in.
There she goes. You know, I think they really want to try to attack Ferguson because with that limited Owen County bench.
Logan advancing it up the floor. And
timeout, Owen.
Amy Wesselman in the ear of the far official. It'll be a 60-second timeout. Anderson by 10, Rebel ball when we come back. 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament live from Grant County on Glycon.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Colossians 3:23. Stinnett Plumbing, proudly serving Oldham County with a complete array of services from faucet fixes to bathroom renovations. Locally owned, built on integrity, and committed to bringing exceptional quality work to you. On call 24 hours a day for emergency repairs. Phone 502-690-3070. Stinnett Plumbing. You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycon.
More great basketball coming up next week on Glycon. Doubleheader 8th Region boys on Monday. Should be a great twin bill, by the way. And then also the 7th Region title game. Malin Ballard will meet for the 3rd time. We'll have all those games for you Monday right here on Glycon. Owen up against it early. Gary down 10.
Yeah, you know, they're kind of where they want to be. Obviously, they want to be closer, but, you know, they're going to be hard bit to score, but they're at times they've been able to slow it down, get it across half court, and run their sets. When they've got themselves in trouble is when they've tried to maybe go a little too fast, and that was to Anderson's doing. Beasley in for Anderson now.
Good eye, coach. So Beasley and Lucas, the 2 lone subs to play in this game. Owen yet to
Beasley,
go to their bench.
Sort of the designated defender. She's great at gapping passes.
There is more on top. And now Lewis will handle. Goodrich on the floor, slithers in the lane and poked out of there by Chesser.
There's that size factor.
Jenkins lofts from 10. Got it. Amia now with 8, and Chesser.
Chesser a little slow getting there, setting the trap. She's responsible for the sideline, and she used her body and hands to bump, and that'll get her a little time on the bench.
So Chesser with her 2nd foul is out. She'll join Lainey Johnson with 2 early fouls. As Lucas in, also reinserted Paige Serafini, 1-1 for Gracie Ferguson, shoots them 64%. And Serafini will secure the rebound.
You're Owen, all those freebies you've got to make.
Satterley, little miscommunique between her and Jenkins.
Well, I think Jenkins turned to go before she had the ball completely in her hands. Chucked that up to her, just being a little impatient.
Owen yet to scratch in this quarter. 4+ minutes, a dry ball.
Watch Moore, been quiet lately.
That is Goodrich. Now Lewis up top.
Working more in the middle now.
And a foul on Lucas as she'll collide with Goodrich. So outside of Lexi Moore's 3 threes for Owen, their lone field goal from Laurel Lewis. And the Rebs now 0 of 2 from the foul line as Goodrich will have another. Goodrich season high 14 versus Gallatin earlier this year, and we saw this a bit Monday where Owen couldn't make free throws.
Gonna have to do that.
Rebels missed double-figure free throws in that win versus the Mustangs. Shot them great last night. Serafini finds Satterley.
See, the game slows down when
Lucas couldn't connect. And Moore on the backside for the Rebels. And to say Owen needs a basket here would not be the most. There's a little shot in the lane from Goodrich, and it swirls out. Logan trying to clean it up.
Well, Serafini didn't do her job. The ball hit her right in the hands for the rebound, and when she didn't get it, it opened the door for Logan, who got the offensive rebound, got fouled. Let's see if they can make some free throws.
Serafini also with a couple of early fouls. Owen 0 of 3 from the line. Haley Logan will have a pair. And that's Owen's first point of this quarter.
Well, the good thing is it's not like Anderson set it on fire offensively.
No, not tonight thus far. That one's going to fall for Logan. But I think the Rebels' pace has something to do with that.
Oh, I think so. You know, I mean, I've seen Anderson uncharacteristic make unforced turnovers, and I think because they've been slowed down just a little bit.
Jenkins finding Satterley near wing. Extra pass. Lucas triggers a three. And the rebound secured and gobbled up by Lucas. Up and in.
Nice steal and save.
That's got to be good for her confidence.
Gotta
for the
be.
Senior. 12-point Bearcat lead.
What I liked about it is she missed the shot, but she went and got the missed rebound.
Lewis will slide it in the post, and Lucas on the overplay,
Yep.
and then Jenkins will deflect it out.
They've moved Lucas into the middle, and that's 2 deflections she's had while she's in the post area.
Anderson going to call a timeout, recycle things. Be right back on Glycod.
Today's game is presented in part by Sweet Mash, a great little store in the heart of Lawrenceburg.
Sweetmash.com.
Opened by 2 spirited Bearcat alumni who are proud community supporters, Sweet Mash carries a unique array of Southern goods, gifts, and apparel. Visit them at 101 South Main Street, just across from Lawrenceburg City Hall, or shop online at sweetmash.com. You can also follow this boutique gift shop on Instagram at Sweet Mash Goods.
Sweetmash.com.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
There you see the Anderson County bench. Bearcats trying to advance to their 3rd straight Sweet 16. And they lead a feisty and successful Owen County team by a dozen. 2 minutes left in the half. Entry to Moore.
Well, they missed her early.
Poor angle as it's secured by Beasley, and then an Owen foul in pursuit.
They had Moore with a takedown.
Can be whistled on Logan. And Owen going to pick up in backcourt, and Rebels trying to send in Rachel Howard.
You got to stop play now, but you can't let her come in.
We'll see what happens as Christy Boylan chatting with Ron Price, and they will summon Anderson back on the floor as Clay Burgwhistle had ushered his kids over for a de facto timeout.
Yeah, young lady got to the desk late, but kind of curved right on in.
So Rachel Howard will check in at the next whistle for Owen. She's on one knee at the scorer's table. as Jenkins flies a three, and it's...
Jenkins hadn't really been square to the basket all night. Everything a little quick, rushed.
Lewis working against Beasley. Nice entry underneath Ferguson. Contact, no call, and Serafini.
I know people are a little excited on that, but it was really Ferguson who created the contact. That was a good no call by the officials.
Satterley up top. As Anderson outscoring Owen 8-2 in this quarter. And Satterley will nudge it in the far corner to Serafini, and then oh my, turnover back to Owen.
Coach Clay Birdwhistle just sits down, leans back, takes a big sigh of relief. It could be worse, he could be behind, or it could be close.
You get the sense that Anderson's one run away from perhaps putting this one away, but...
Well, credit Owen's toughness. You know, they haven't cracked.
Lewis will inbound. Cutting to the basket is Goodrich, and closing out for the block, Serafini. Power dribble, Ferguson, and Jenkins gets a piece.
Well,
and Satterley may be called.
Law of averages, 3 straight blocks. Somebody's going to get a little more meat.
Going to be Beasley instead, her second. So Owen back at the foul line. It's Howard.
Well, there's that size factor we talked about, Chris. And that's without Chelsea, the biggest of the Bearcat players, who's on the bench with 2 fouls.
So J.C. Chesser, only a basket thus far in this first half. You've got a core of Bearcats with 2 fouls as Howard for a free throw. And Owen within 11.
What they've done on the half, they've effectively taken threes away from Anderson.
Jenkins will put it on the floor now. Jenkins in the lane, and a Rebel foul. It'll be Ferguson. We'll update the ticker at half. Lots of girls' regional title games being settled this afternoon and now this evening as Jenkins makes it a 12-point advantage for the Cats. Mercy Bullet East tied at half. 6th region title, that's at 21. And a 13-point Anderson County lead as Laurel Lewis floats it to Goodrich, and Goodrich going to set up shop, and that's where they want it with Moore. Moore with 9 points in this half, all from the 3. Trying to keep the Rebels relevant. As Moore now seams baseline. Skip past Goodrich, will float one. They got to make that shot as Jenkins with a rebound. There's a great pass by Moore. Anderson runs the break. There's Satterley, the trailer. Jenkins blows by the D. Oh, and Serafini, I believe, will be called for a foul over the top.
Well, that's a hope and a prayer on Serafini's behalf. I mean, she went hard to the board, but, you know, that had foul written all over it.
Actually, they're going to call Lucas. Looked to me like Serafini.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, she just took off and broad jumped. And here's your thing, Chris. As Anderson is slowed down in scoring in this second quarter, one of the things they haven't been able to do is set their press. And without setting their press, it's allowed Owen far less pressure.
Well, they had it wrong the first time. It was on Serafini, that foul, in lieu of Lucas. That's been amended. Foul is Serafini's, her 3rd, and Owen with a free throw. That's the first point for Ferguson. Young lady will be one of the top players in the 8th region next year. 5'10 junior, 14 points a night. Second leading Rebel scorer. And steered off as Paige Baum in for the Bearcats. Jenkins, Lucas stationed for a 3, and that's going to conclude this first half. Anderson outscores the Rebels 10-4 in the frame, and at half, Anderson County on top of Owen County, 27-15. Lots to discuss at halftime. We'll update the area scores, also preview Sacred Heart. Sacred Heart advances to the Sweet 16. Be right back on Glycon.
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance is the #1 property and casualty insurance provider in Kentucky. With local agents, our members enjoy an unmatched level of dedication and service. KFB's rates are affordable and our local claims service is quick and efficient. Call or come in today and let us show you the Kentucky Farm Bureau insurance difference. In Lawrenceburg, contact Agency Manager David Taylor or Agent Ashley Nesbitt at 1056 Bypass South. Phone 502-839-4186. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Anderson Apothecary, the cure for the common drugstore. Anderson Apothecary, just across the street from the high school on Highway 127.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Want to replace your old, rotted, and drafty windows? What would your house look like with the newest and high-quality windows on the market? With just one call to Metro Windows, you can choose from a great selection of aluminum-clad, vinyl, and rot-free windows at an affordable price. And Metro Windows can also replace just the glass and failed windows, too. Their installers are Oldham County residents that take pride in their work and craftsmanship. Metro Windows has been locally owned for over 30 years and is the proud carrier of the Windsor window line. Give Metro Windows a call today at 222-7828. That's 222-7828 Metro Windows.
Tonight's halftime report is brought to you by Metro Windows. Replace your old rotted windows today. Call Kyle at 502-550-1489. That's Metro Windows at 502-550-1489.
Back live at halftime, Anderson County leading 27-15 over Owen. Chris Labar along with former Colonels coach Gary Forrest. Great to have you with us. And this game certainly hasn't been the most aesthetically pleasing, but Anderson has done some good things.
Well, both teams have, Chris, to tell you the truth. Anderson's been its typical self that first quarter. They were able to score, get into a press, turn Owen over. Owen, we talked about, they wanted that game to slow down. You have to handle the ball well. For the latter part of the first quarter and second quarter, they were able to do that. Still, though, they're going to have to find a way to generate some more points, or they're still looking behind the eight ball.
Well, and the Cats got on a flurry mid to late first quarter, a couple of live ball turnovers that really gave them a little cushion.
Very much so, and we've seen Anderson make a living off of situations like that here in this tournament.
So 27-15, Anderson by 12. The rundown of the scoring, Jenkins with 10. Laney Johnson has 8. Jenna Satterley, 5 points, 2 each for Chesser and Lucas. And for Owen, it's Lexi Moore with 10. Logan and Lewis each with a pair. Rachel Howard with 1. And Moore doing her best to keep Owen in this game.
Very much so. As we talked about her earlier, she's kind of that jack of all trades. And tonight she knocks down some threes to keep them in, and just all the little things that she does.
You had mentioned Anderson revising their press a little bit, going to the pointed press. What would you expect in the second half?
Oh, I think, he'll go back to what's been good for him. He did that after one timeout just to give them a different look, something else to think about. And quite frankly, Chris, a lot of times coaches will throw in a red herring where if they continue to play on, someone sees that, and that just gives somebody else, a Sacred Heart maybe, something to have to prepare for.
Well, that's a good segue as Sacred Heart defeats Manual early tonight, and the winner of this game will take on the Valkyries. From Owen's perspective, though, they've played Anderson now. This is, of course, the third time this year. These two teams so familiar with one another. I mean, there can't be too many secrets left, are there?
There aren't. It's all about execution now, and making sure that your kids have come prepared to play. And, the hardest thing probably for Anderson is, because they have played them and they have beat them, is to get up for them again, and particularly the way they played their last two games. So human nature tells you they were maybe ready for a little bit of a letdown, and maybe we were spoiled the last two games we've seen them play.
Yeah, they played so well early this week, defeating Simon Kenton and then last night South Oldham. So let's talk about the Valkyries for a moment. Defending state champions last year, now back to the Sweet 16 this year, and Johnson down low is a true handful.
Very much so. They they graduated some kids, but they had a base of a very, very good team coming back, and then they get a transfer that's a pretty good player as well. If Anderson is able to go on and win this game, it's a heck of a matchup first round.
It really is, and with the draw being the way that it is now, I think these two teams consensus in the top 5 all year.
Oh, very much so.
Play right out of the chute, and then GRC perhaps waiting in the wings in the quarters.
I've been there, done that. 2 out of 6 times in my life, we go into the state tournament and we draw the number 1 team. So, you better be ready.
So the Lady Cats trying to put a very good and feisty Owen team away, 27-15 at half. We'll be right back on Glycon.
Want to replace your old, rotted, and drafty windows? What would your house look like with the newest and high-quality windows on the market? With just one call to Metro Windows, you can choose from a great selection of aluminum-clad, vinyl, and rot-free windows at an affordable price. And Metro Windows can also replace just the glass and failed windows, too. Their installers are Oldham County residents that take pride in their work and craftsmanship. Metro Windows has been locally owned for over 30 years and is the proud carrier of the Windsor window line. Give Metro Windows a call today at 222-7828. That's 222-7828 Metro Windows.
Crestwood Coin Laundry, Oldham County's leading laundromat for over 25 years. Located at 6520 West Highway 146, Crestwood Coin Laundry offers state-of-the-art facilities in a clean, inviting atmosphere. You can wash and dry clothes yourself, or you can drop off your clothes in the morning and have them back clean, dry, and folded that afternoon. Their extra-large washers are perfect for comforters and large items, and all larger machines accept credit cards. They're open at 8 on weekdays and 7 on weekends for your convenience. Stop in or visit them online, CrestwoodCoinLaundryKY.com.
A plan for the future is a plan for peace of mind. At Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home. Proud supporters of the Lady Bearcats and locally owned by 1985 AC graduate Brian Ritchie, they have been serving Lawrenceburg since 1991. Visit ritchieandpeach.com or phone 502-839-5151. Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home, 701 North Main Street. Helping you create the tribute of a lifetime.
Are you looking for a realtor to help you buy or sell your property? Then look no further than John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher. John has helped hundreds achieve their goals through buying and selling real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading to a larger home, or downsizing as an empty nester, John will work with you to help you get where you want to go. For a realtor that has supported the community for over 20 years and who has creative ideas, consistent communication, and dependable results, call John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher at 502-598-8378.
Only your locally owned Cub Cadet dealer has genuine parts, accessories, trained service technicians, and the widest selection of innovative Cub Cadet products. We're here for you whenever you need us, with expert service and support to keep your equipment running at peak performance for years to come. Visit your locally owned power equipment dealer, Anderson Sales and Service in Madison, Crestwood, and our newest location at 1675 Watterson Trail in Louisville.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Anderson County by 12 as we get set for the second half tonight on Glycod.com. Chris Labar along with Gary Forrest, Steve Bird, our executive producer. And we'll see what Owen can do in this second half as they try to keep things together against this Bearcat press.
Very much so, and once again, more is the key to everything for Owen.
Two teams with outstanding seasons meeting tonight in the 8th Region Final. That's exactly how it should be. How many turnovers did you have Owen with?
Owen for the first half, 11.
So one above what we thought would be necessary to win this game. There's a double team. Goodrich slides right through it. And there is Ferguson, arced to Moore. And Goodrich up top. Rebels 4 points in the second quarter. Hence now a 12-point hill to climb. They trailed by 6 after 1. There's Goodrich veering inside the lane. Had a path, opted instead to Moore. Moore has Serafini on her hip. Turns and wouldn't go in. Logan up. Backside Ferguson will clean it up.
3 offensive rebounds for Owen that time, Chris.
We saw Owen with some offensive rebounding success in the first half. And the lead now reduced to 10 as Satterley finds Jenkins. And Goodrich shadows her. Satterley 5 first half points. Having a very solid tournament. Jenkins comes to a stop, now floats it in the far corner. That was Johnson. Foul underneath on Owen County.
Lewis really has her hands full trying to guard Jenkins, but give her credit for it. She didn't back down.
First on Laurel Lewis, and we're going to do it all over again as Anderson will inbound.
Now Goodrich trying her luck.
Jenkins all the way to the basket, and it'll stay in.
And it wasn't so good.
Jenkins now with 13, leading scorer in this game.
Going to the 1-2.
Great
1-1.
find from Moore and connected by Logan. I think passing might be Moore's best attribute. Tremendous giver. 5:44 as Satterley winds it around the clock to Serafini. And now Jenkins trickled. Got 4 student athletes diving for that loose ball arrow to Anderson County. Kinley Lucas on for the Bearcats as Serafini will shuttle out.
Serafini not moving well in the press, and I think that's one of the reasons she went out. They're talking to her about getting to the spot.
Johnson now funneling it to Jenkins.
See, this is what Owen wants. If they're going to win, they've got to get Anderson in a half-court game.
Satterley up top. Chesser. Oh, my. And Chesser called for those elbows.
Well, you know, it was a point of discussion last night.
Chesser flattened Natalie Betts of South Oldham last night in a similar play. The foul was actually called on South Oldham, but tonight Chesser in a similar circumstance. So the Bearcats pick up with the press. Lewis in backcourt, and a 10-second call. Not by my watching, it wasn't.
Well, you've heard of fast time and slow time. Apparently that was fast time.
Amy Wesselman looks over there, and she's...
Yeah, she still has that quizzical look on her face.
That's a good word. Good word. And we got a Rebel foul apparently coming up the floor.
Yeah. Yeah, Lewis is feisty. You know, we saw that a minute ago when she was guarding Jenkins, and that time she's kind of battling back and forth with Satterley.
Satterley working against Lewis. Now Jenkins veering left.
She can do that all day, Chris.
Rolls it home. Jenkins with 15. And you get the sense the Bearcats.
There's what you want.
On the verge.
Yes.
And Owen, I think, got a timeout first. Amy Wesselman with
once
the time.
again, Wesselman saves her team with a quick timeout. So she's taken 2 turnovers off the board.
Rebels with a timeout will keep things here as Owen perhaps on the verge, down a dozen.
Well, they found out.
I'll continue, Coach.
Well, they found out, you know, they could trap Ferguson on the sideline, and immediately the first thing she does is turns her back on the basket. And that's the second or third time tonight it's gone to Ferguson. So I'm sure that's something they saw in their scouting report.
This Owen offense, and we've certainly talked about this some this week, just not the arsenal to come back from big deficits.
No, they're not built that way.
But what they've done has worked for them this season. It's a great program, so much respect for that program, that school. But they're going to have to find a way to score some points to win this game.
Well, it's worked pretty well for them for 25 times this year.
Yeah, it sure has. They averaged 57 a year, or rather, 57 a game.
There's your trap.
It's Lewis far sideline, and Ferguson up the baseline. That shot short. Chesser in the middle of it. And oh my, we're going to have an Owen foul as Chesser seemed like she held that ball forever there.
Chesser was making a point, Chris. You know, last time now, if you remember, she got called for throwing her elbows when she had the ball. This time she held it straight up and kept looking at the officials like, are you going to call it?
Foul is on Gracie Ferguson of the Rebels. Owen already with 3 fouls in this half.
Nice little one-on-one battle here between Lewis and Satterley.
Good observation. Satterley into forecourt.
Chesser just cleaned Satterley's clock twice with screens.
Jenkins to the bucket.
That time left-handed. As the old boy said, she's amphibious.
14-point Bearcat lead, their biggest advantage of the evening.
Another turnover.
Satterley with the takeaway, being badgered up the floor. That shot a little bit short. And Moore through contact brings it down. And Lewis, the signal caller up top, as the Rebels had a 5-minute dry spell in the second quarter. We played 4.5 this period, and the Rebels with but 4 points. Here's an entry to Ferguson, and Chesser sends it back.
Nice block.
Here comes Satterley up the hill. Johnson, a stationary triple. And a whistle. Ferguson and Chesser in the vicinity. It's an Owen foul.
I think, yeah, that's the right call.
Oh, Lewis. Okay.
I think they were right the first time. I think it was Ferguson.
Well, Ferguson with a tap down right in front of us. Jenkins a step back
Nope.
too. And Lewis.
No reason to step
snare
back.
the rebound. Moore from Lewis, and she'll get the roll.
Well, that's Moore's shot right down there on the baseline. The baby little jump hook.
Moore with 11. Chesser runs the floor. A little bit out of sorts there. Cleaned up by Laney. No. And Logan out of the scrum. Clay Birdwhistle starting to get worked up on that far sideline.
I think Chesser, once again, expecting contact, had the good give and go and just missed it.
Now Lewis. Laurel Lewis will handle up top. Poke away from behind by Chesser, but right back to the originator, Lewis.
Guess who?
Logan Moore from the elbow. And Laney Johnson corrals it for Anderson. Here's a Serafini three. And a timeout as the lead now swells to 15.
Well, I like that timeout on Owen's behalf. This thing's starting to slip on them.
Timeout on the floor. Be right back as Owen pauses play. Be right back on Glycon.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycon.
15-point Anderson County lead after the three from Paige Serafini, her first points of the evening. And Owen County trying to stay in this game. It'll be Goodrich angling for Logan in the corner. Now Logan lofts it up and in.
Logan's a lefty, and she's only going one way, and she just bides her time. Anytime they push to right, she kills her dribble and gives it up.
Logan now with 6. And the lead now reduced to 13. Satterley underneath. And I believe Logan going to be the guilty party.
Owen County foul number 12, Haley Logan, her third, Lady Rebels 5th.
15 foul. Logan called, as we told you about that. And Satterley for 2.
Into the game for Anderson County.
Jenna now with 6, had 11 last night versus South Oldham. Younger sister of Rachel Satterley. Second free throw in. .15 Bearcat Bulge. Just north of a minute in the third is Goodrich.
Thought Goodrich might have got a step in there extra, but
ditto. Going to be an Anderson foul.
Yep. You know, Jenkins out right now. Anderson wisely buying her an extra minute before this quarter change, so she's going to get about a 3-minute break here.
Fourth foul on J.C. Chesser as Kinley Lucas checks in. Lucas 2 first half points. And Owen to trigger, and it's deflected by Serafini. Running the floor, Laney Johnson, and lays it in.
Well, there's points off transition once again.
Laney now the second cat in double figs with 10. Lewis finding Goodrich, elbow jumper. And more. Check that, that's Ferguson with a rebound. Anderson's biggest lead, a methodical growing since middle first quarter. Loose on the floor. And Andrew Mormon saw something he didn't like. There's going to be a foul called. Third foul on Beasley. Rachel Howard back in for Owen, the lone reserve to play tonight for the Rebels. And Goodrich shuffles him.
So Jenkins back in, and the reason is they're on offense, so it gives them one more offensive crack with their star back on the floor.
Fantastic tournament, as we told you, for Amia, and it all started literally first couple of possessions versus Simon Kenton on Tuesday, and Jenkins for two more. And that's going to take us to the fourth, as Anderson 8 minutes away from advancing to their third consecutive Sweet 16.
Good coaching strategy right there, Chris.
Bearcats up big. Be right back.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycon.
Gary, you mentioned something that you liked there about good coaching. Elaborate.
I just thought it was a great strategy. They were going to rest Jenkins by our extra time, but Coach couldn't pass up on an opportunity to get his best player back on the floor for the last 20 seconds. Went an isolation play, and nobody's been able to check her one-on-one tonight, and they didn't then. She's easily drove the basket, made a bucket. Sometimes stuff like that goes unnoticed, but just a clever play. And heads up coaching.
Yeah, neither of these coaches miss very much, that's for sure. As we get set for the fourth. And it will be Owen possession.
Okay, Owen's got to go now, down 19. They're not a real explosive offensive team.
Logan, a little bit long, and a long rebound. Dug out of there by Howard, and the Rebels, they've had success on the offensive glass tonight. They'll capture another rebound.
Well, if they're going to win, it's going to have to go through more. And there we saw an unopportunistic shot, shot a three, but that's probably not Howard's game.
Now Goodrich will orchestrate up top. Howard triggers a corner triple. And Logan, backside rebound. We got an Owen player shaken up far sideline as Logan with the basket. Didn't quite see what happened, but an Owen County player down far sideline. We'll take a quick break, be right back. Anderson in control on Glycod.com.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. A plan for the future is a plan for peace of mind. At Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home. Proud supporters of the Lady Bearcats and locally owned by 1985 AC graduate Brian Ritchie, they have been serving Lawrenceburg since 1991. Visit ritchieandpeach.com or phone 502-839-5151. Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home, 701 North Main Street. Helping you create the tribute of a lifetime.
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance is the #1 property and casualty insurance provider in Kentucky. With local agents, our members in...
And we are back to live action. That was Gracie Ferguson that was injured. She went over to the bench under her own power. 7 minutes left. As Anderson County hoping to move on to the Sweet 16. Sacred Heart awaiting Thursday at 8:30. And more in the thick of it for Owen to take that away. There's a corner triple off of the mark by Lewis. And Serafini with a Bearcat rebound. Serafini floating it up in the lane. And cleaning it up is Moore for the Rebels, and she'll be fouled in backcourt by Beasley. Fourth on Beasley. And Goodrich flanking to Lewis as Lewis has it leak in the lane. And that was Serafini to reel it in. Here comes Jenkins. Amia all the way for two. And a Rebel timeout. And that will be their final timeout. Full timeout. Be right back on Glycod.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street, or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
You're tuned in to the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Owen County Rebels utilizing their last timeout. Back live at Grant County High School. These guys here at Grant done a great job this week in hosting this tournament.
Boy, it's been first class. You know, no going through the motions here. Even though their girls weren't participating in it, they've stepped up, and it's been number one.
It sure has. Brian Smallwood, athletic director here. Our thanks to him and wonderful volunteers that have made this week very, very special. Wonderful hospitality room as well. Homemade veggie soup tonight.
Well, we can attest to that. That's for sure.
We've had much worse along our trek. And a 19-point Owen County deficit. Lewis pitches it down to Moore. Moore spins back. And she's got two more. Moore now with 13.
Coach Birdwhistle not happy on that one. Thought it was a double dribble. Showed a lot of quickness coming up off that chair.
Satterley driving, and it's poked out of there. Goodrich coming up the floor. Satterley is tumbled. She's okay, but it's 5-on-4, and more shot short. Serafini brings it down, and now Jenkins bumped from behind. And a held ball with the arrow, Anderson County. Tough to beat a team 3 times, and Anderson appears on their way to doing just that.
Just not a good matchup for Owen.
Statistically, they've been the second best team all year in the 8th region.
Yep.
And nothing at all wrong with that. All A state champions. And Jenkins driving. And an Anderson foul. That was Lewis. Oh, excuse me. It's an Owen foul on Lewis.
Well, to tell you the truth, I agree with the foul. You know, Lewis is a little spitfire, and she's right up in Jenkins' face. And, you know, Jenkins just went right into her. But Lewis had the arm bar on her. As she is right now. I mean, she's feisty. She's got her hands all over.
You know, Moore just badgering Satterley as she comes up that sideline, and that's going to be the 7th team foul.
Well, you're seeing a little frustration, I think, Chris, right now. Owen's kids have cranked it up a notch, but, they're aware of the situation and the time involved.
Satterley with 7. And Moore with a rebound. This likely her last high school game. The program's all-time leading scorer. Solid from A to Z. And Goodrich will handle up top. Wide open. Lewis are going to give her that shot, and it's steered long. Serafini for the rebound, and now Jenkins, and there's that Lewis matchup as Jenkins just squirms past her. Jenkins off the window. Going to be some sleepless nights for Donna Moyer this week, trying to configure a game plan to combat Jenkins. That shot off the mark and reeled in.
Well, I think
Johnson.
that was a frustration shot by Moore. First one of those I've seen out of her, man. The battle continues with Lewis on Jenkins.
Under 4. I think that extra day playing on Thursday might be a benefit to these Bearcats. They look a little winded. There's Johnson up top. Over now Satterley. Entry in the lane, Jenkins. And cleaned up by Logan. There's Moore down low, finding Logan, splits defenders. That's the one piece of the game tonight for the Rebels that's been solid, offensive rebounding. And Satterley out with it for the Lady Cats. And we're going to have an Anderson timeout. So the Bearcats call timeout. Anderson County 3-12 away from a berth in the Sweet 16. Gary and I return after this on Glycod.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Anderson Apothecary, the cure for the common drugstore. Anderson Apothecary, just across the street from the high school on Highway 127.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Anderson County inside their huddle, leading, as you see, by 19 over Owen. And the Bearcats on the verge of a three-peat. The last team inside the 8th region to win 3 consecutive regional titles. Oldham County back in 88 through 90. Who were the coachmen at that point, Gary?
Well, Chris, I'm thinking it was who were the coaches at that point. I'm thinking for sure Dave Weedman, but I think Dave might have taken a year or 2 off, and a fellow by the name of Jim Randall. Now, I may be wrong, but for some reason I think that was the case.
88 through 90. Now, the Colonels earlier that decade actually won 4 consecutive, 82 through 86, including that state title. 3:07 left in this game. Jenkins slithering in the lane, and the rebound.
I take it. Jenkins looks a little gassed. Lewis and her continually badgering is worn on her.
There's Moore down low, and Jenkins called with a reach. Bullitt East has just defeated Mercy 63-50. So Bullitt East capturing the 6th region title. We'll update the ticker and have other scores for you before we sign off this evening. Goodrich sliding in the lane and out off of Anderson, but a foul first. Gary, let's talk about the 8th region boys semis. On Mondays, the tournament continues and should be 2 great matchups.
Well, if you drew up who the final 4 teams would be, there wouldn't be a lot of argument about that. And it looks like we've got them in the 8th. Of course, that's a point of contention, but it's going to be 2 really good games. And the 2 teams that I thought played the best, they're going to meet right off the bat. And that would be Collins and
North Oldham.
There you go.
Right. 6:30 on Monday. The second game is Oldham County and Woodford. And then Tuesday, the 8th Region Boys title. So Owen possession still underneath, trailing 18. And a wide open layup's going to settle in for Logan. She's in double figures with 10.
Well, Logan has battled all night long. None of these Owen County kids have. I mean, they're going to play it through. Anderson being very smart with the ball. Spread offense now. They've got the ball handlers.
And Satterley working opposite Howard. That's a good matchup to look at in the future, both of whom are sophomores. Satterley will handle in front of the seated Anderson assistant coach Mark Evans, and
Coach Amy Westman of Owen instructed her players, hey, clock's working against us, go foul, and they immediately went and fouled.
8th team foul, so Satterley back for 1 and 1.
Next foul against Anderson will put the Rebels in the bonus as well.
This will be Anderson's 13th straight win in this series. As the front end long from Satterley. And Moore with a rebound. 3 ball gonna fall. That's the first 3 other than Alexi Moore 3. But by my count, Owen was out of timeouts before that.
Yeah.
Okay, so this will be their last timeout, okay. All right, so the Rebels use their last timeout after the made 3. The lead now at 13. We'll be right back. This is Glycod.com.
Range Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
There you see the Owen County coaching staff. Tremendous job this season constructing a 25-win team. And Owen County will retain a couple of key cogs in Ferguson and Logan, both of whom scored double figures this year, as they'll be back next year. And 1:51 left in this game. Now, Gary, look forward to Thursday. Ought to be a very interesting matchup in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, very much so. Right, 2 of the maybe better teams right out of the back.
You got GRC looming in the same bracket.
Yep.
And a foul on Johnson.
Well, we're going to stretch this one out now. It's going to be a free throw shooting contest.
So this will be Logan back for 1 and 1 as Johnson called for her 3rd. That'll make it a 12-point game. So Owen trailed by 6 after 1. But then a 4-point second quarter increased the lead to a dozen. FAR official down here tending up to some business before.
Got a little wet spot on the floor. The Owen players were trying to kick it out.
That's the Grant County girls basketball coach here
Yeah.
doing.
Coach West, he's probably done that before.
Oh, yeah.
A few times.
So Logan back for 1 more. Coach West, the first one in the gym this afternoon. 1 more for Logan, and rebound brought down by Goodrich. Lewis triggers a 3 and hits it. So a single-digit game. And now Owen on the defensive end, and you can bet your mortgage we're going to have some fouls here with 1:33 left.
Well, as I said about a minute ago, it's going to turn into a free throw shooting contest.
And Jenkins all the way across the line. They're not going to, wow, all the way to the bucket for Jenkins.
What I liked about it is she took her time, didn't rush things, no chance of a charge. But then Owen's going to start cranking threes again.
There's one off the mark as Jenkins now with a rebound, her 21st point. And Jenkins all the way to the basket for another layup. And here comes Moore. A lot of fans to that far right behind the Owen bench standing, observing this great team that's going to fall just a little bit short tonight as Goodrich will find Moore up top. Nice pass underneath, and the layup goes for Logan.
Well, the Rebels won't quit. Coach Lesselman
Jenkins
calling for the foul.
19 foul as Jenkins back to the line for 1-1.
Yeah, I'm looking at Lexi Moore as she settles into the spot down here, Chris, and she is worn out. Hands on both hips.
Coach, you've been in this situation. We'll talk more about that maybe at the next dead ball, but pass as Goodrich. Over now, Logan tees one up, and Owen connecting on a couple of recent threes. 15 seconds left, and Jenkins will nudge it out, and Anderson +8, a Satterley found from behind. You've been in that Anderson County mindset of moving on to the Sweet 16. What's the time frame and the prep and all that goes in between tonight and the first round around Thursday?
Well, they're not going to have a lot of extra time. You want to give your kids a little bit of time, but you want to try to get things back to normal as quick as possible, but it's really hard to do so. Now, the advantage that Anderson has, they've been there 2 years in a row, been there, done that. They understand what works and what doesn't. If you're a first-year team that goes to the state tournament, you better be twice as good as your opponent for the simple fact you get caught up with all the perimeter stuff. Everybody wanting to feed your kids. Your kids could put on 20 pounds if you're not careful. You know, there's the ride on the fire truck and the key to the city and whatsoever.
Satterley gets the roll.
Just so many things people don't think about.
Owen student athletes embracing their head coaches. That's Destiny Goodrich, a senior. Lexi Moore, a senior. Very, very moving image as they're.
You know, you try to get some young kids in right now just where they can say they were on the floor.
A tough game. That last game as a senior. That is a tough one. And Owen will have it. This is Kylie Steffen, an 8th grader. And that's going to conclude this game. Anderson County on to the Sweet 16. Congratulations to the Lady Cats. 52-42. And Anderson County will get their wish, a rematch on Thursday at 8:30 against Sacred Heart. Be right back, live from Grant County High School. This is Glycod.com.
Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender. A plan for the future is a plan for peace of mind. At Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home. Proud supporters of the Lady Bearcats and locally owned by 1985 AC graduate Brian Ritchie, they have been serving Lawrenceburg since 1991. Visit ritchieandpeach.com or phone 502-839-5151. Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home, 701 North Main Street, helping you create the tribute of a lifetime.
Kentucky Farm Bureau Insurance is the #1 property and casualty insurance provider in Kentucky. With local agents, our members enjoy an unmatched level of dedication and service. KFB's rates are affordable and our local claims service is quick and efficient. Call or come in today and let us show you the Kentucky Farm Bureau insurance difference. In Lawrenceburg, contact Agency Manager David Taylor or Agent Ashley Nesbitt at 1056 Bypass South. Phone 502-839-4186. Kentucky Farm Bureau, big on commitment.
Today's game is brought to you in part by Anderson Apothecary, the cure for the common drugstore. Anderson Apothecary, just across the street from the high school on Highway 127.
Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart, as working for the Lord, not for human masters. Colossians 3:23. Stinnett Plumbing, proudly serving Oldham County with a complete array of services from faucet fixes to bathroom renovations. Locally owned, built on integrity, and committed to bringing exceptional quality work to you. On call 24 hours a day for emergency repairs. Phone 502-690-3070. Stinnett Plumbing.
Welcome to WDRB Home Design here at Watts Home Center. We're talking paint colors today. Tommy, what are the hottest colors this season?
The hottest colors are gray. Grays are trending. You also have taupes, off-white. Benjamin Moore has over 4,000 colors, so we can find something that you like.
So if I wanted to color match my shirt, you could do it?
I can do it. We take our little color spectrometer here. It will take a picture of your shirt, tells us what color it is. We have true color lighting, so it helps us get the true color to match your color.
Do you have any tips for us to ensure a successful paint job?
The best tip I can give you is use the proper tools. You want to use a good paintbrush, you want to use a good roller. People always grab a roller frame, they just want to roll a wall. Grab a pole, whether it be an expensive good one, inexpensive wooden one. It makes the job go so much easier when you're rolling that wall out.
The team at Watts Home Center can answer all your painting questions, so come on out to their location here in LaGrange. I'm Lindsay Cox for WDRB Home Design.
Tonight's post-game recap is brought to you by LaGrange Service Center, a family-owned car repair shop that also offers 24/7 towing and wrecker service. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street. Call 502-222-1673.
A workmanlike performance as Anderson County moves on to the Sweet 16, defeating Owen County 52-42. And the Rebels certainly did some good things in this game, but Anderson, too much firepower.
Just too much, too deep, and the things we talked about earlier, they got transition points, easy score. I know the score a 10-point game, but they really were with a comfortable lead most of the time. That's not take anything away from Owen. We told Owen would have to keep it in the 40s to win, and, they got their 40, but, they couldn't slow Anderson down that much.
Still tabulating final scores. These are unofficial. Had Amia Jenkins with 25, 9 for Jenna Satterley, Lainey Johnson with 8, Paige Serafini 3, J.C. Chesser 4, and Kinley Lucas with 2. For Owen, Haley Logan outstanding tonight with 18. Lexi Moore unofficially 15. Gracie Ferguson with 4. Laurel Lewis 5, and 1 point each for Goodrich and Rachel Howard. Nominating and recognizing the all-tournament team from both of these schools. And we will take a quick break, update our most outstanding player, and take a look at more high school basketball coming up later next week. Back after this on Glycod.com.
Looking for a realtor to help you buy or sell your property? Then look no further than John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher. John has helped hundreds achieve their goals through buying and selling real estate. Whether you're buying your first home, upgrading to a larger home, or downsizing as an empty nester, John will work with you to help you get where you want to go. For a realtor that has supported the community for over 20 years and who has creative ideas, consistent communication, and dependable results, call John Reynolds with Exit Realty Crutcher at 502-598-8378.
Looking for sound, prudent financial advice? Did you know that one of the brightest and best financial advisors is in your own backyard? Robin Lawson of Financial Solutions Incorporated has a mission to understand your long-term goals and to create a specific strategy just for you. Robin understands the challenges that face most of us today and offers fresh, out-of-the-box thinking that can put you on the road to financial freedom. Contact Robin Lawson today at 502-225-9900. That's 502-225-9900 or visit lawsonfinancial.net.
LaGrange Service Center is a professional automotive service center that aims to provide the highest level of customer satisfaction. Their team is dedicated to performing honest and ethical work. Their experienced technicians make affordably priced immediate and scheduled repairs. Plus, they offer 24-hour emergency roadside assistance and much more. Located at 409 West Jefferson Street or call 502-222-1673. LaGrange Service Center.
Winter is coming. The Farmer's Almanac is predicting a rough winter with teeth-chattering cold. Don't be caught unprepared. Call Thompson Heating and Cooling today for a special $99 HVAC checkup. Because the last time you want to find out your heat isn't working is when you really need it. At Thompson, we offer a 2-hour appointment window, so you won't be kept waiting all day. We are fully stocked and prepared, and 90% of our calls are repaired that day. And as always, your satisfaction is guaranteed. Call us today for express service.
A plan for the future is a plan for peace of mind. At Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home. Proud supporters of the Lady Bearcats and locally owned by 1985 AC graduate Brian Ritchie, they have been serving Lawrenceburg since 1991. Visit ritchieandpeach.com or phone 502-839-5151. Ritchie and Peach Funeral Home, 701 North Main Street. Helping you create the tribute of a lifetime. Community strong, serving Lawrenceburg for 20 years, Century Bank is Anderson County's locally owned bank. With a full suite of deposit, loan, and online products, plus a knowledgeable, friendly staff, Century makes everyday banking simple. Located at 201 West Woodford Street with online banking at centurybankky.com. Century Bank, our community, your bank. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Crestwood Coin Laundry, Oldham County's leading laundromat for over 25 years. Located at 6520 West Highway 146, Crestwood Coin Laundry offers state-of-the-art facilities in a clean, inviting atmosphere. You can wash and dry clothes yourself, or you can drop off your clothes in the morning and have them back clean, dry, and folded that afternoon. Their extra-large washers are perfect for comforters and large items, and all larger machines accept credit cards. They're open at 8 on weekdays and 7 on weekends for your convenience. Stop in or visit them online, crestwoodcoinlaundryky.com.
You're tuned into the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod.
Anderson County on to the Sweet 16 as they defeat Owen 52-42. Of course, the Bearcats there for the first three-peat in the 8th region since the Oldham County Colonels did it in the late 80s. And Sacred Heart will await. That first-round game should be something else. We'll have it for you here on Glycod Audio. 8:30 tip-off Thursday will be on the air starting at 8 o'clock. Most outstanding players tonight, we went with a couple of outstanding ones in many facets as presented by Anderson Sales and Service. Lexi Moore, 15 points. Amia Jenkins unofficially with 25. More great basketball coming up on Monday here on Glycod. 8th Region Boys Tournament will continue. Justin Kalen chipping in. He will sit down with Gary Forrest. They'll have the action from Henry County on Monday. Two great semis. And then a real treat in Louisville with Malin Ballard before both title games on Tuesday. That'll do it from here for Gary Forrest, our analyst, Steve Bird, our executive producer, and Cece chipping in on camera. I'm Chris Lamar. Good night from Grant County High School in Dry Ridge. You've been watching the 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament on Glycod.
Tonight's broadcast of the 2022 8th Region Girls Basketball Tournament from Grant County High School on Glycod was brought to you by Anderson Sales and Service, outdoor equipment specialists who make your life easier. By Century Bank in Lawrenceburg, our community, your bank. By Metro Windows, installers of high-quality windows. By Thompson Heating and Cooling, where your comfort comes first. By LaGrange Service Center, quality car care since 1964. By Watts Home Center in LaGrange, design that feels like home. By State Farm Insurance Agent Leslie Gilley, Robert Lane for Oldham County Sheriff, Roy's Body and Glass Shop, John Runnels Realtor, and by Lawson Financial.
For schedule information about our upcoming broadcasts, visit our website, glicod.com, Facebook and Twitter @Glycod. We thank you for tuning into this live sports presentation from Glycod.